Hello and welcome to another episode of the Lightning Studio podcast. I'm here today with Suhail Bismilla. Can you tell me a little bit about where you're from and your history getting to GBC and everything?
Okay. Well, I born and raised in South Africa. Um, Played soccer my whole life, and at the age of 16, 17, I kind of ran into the end of my academy football or academy soccer, which is the highest level, and I just needed a fresh start, I guess, And what I did was I went online searching for different options. I found this thing called CSUSA. It's like a agency kind of thing that helps place kids in the US. And I filled out the application form, forgot about it completely. Ended up going to the UK for half a year or so. And during my time in the UK, I got an email back saying, "Oh, your application has been processed. We think that you have a future to go to the US, and this is the processes you need to go through." And I'm like, well, what's this about? I haven't ever filled an application, and I told my mom about it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you did actually. Before you left, you were searching for something to do, and you filled in this application randomly." And obviously from there, I started going through the process of finding schools in the US, giving my videos and my resume, soccer resume, all of that, academics, taking my SATs, and eventually got some few offers. Goldie stuck out to me because of obviously the location, the price, everything, and the rest is history. Ended up coming to Goldie in 2015 August, and still here.
Yeah.
4.5 years later.
I remember when I first got here in 2017 and then in the fall when we were doing Lightning Studio stuff and we did the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
You were the goalie then, and I thought that was your junior year, right?
Yeah, it's my junior
And we
year.
won. You guys won the conference championship and
Yeah.
went to nationals. Tell me what that experience was like, and specifically talk to me about that team, like just that specific group.
Man, first of all, let's start with the experience. That experience was like nothing I've ever experienced in my life before. Just like, I don't know, it's like a feeling that we had. It's kind of, we knew what we were capable of, but we haven't achieved it yet. But everyone just had this shared feeling, and that this year was going to be something special. So 2017, that was going to be something special. And I guess all our seniors that basically created the culture that we were living in within the team, they didn't want to leave with any regrets. So I guess that kind of pushed it through. And going through that season, just breaking records after records and getting recognition both individually and as a team, it was almost like we were pro athletes. Like in terms of school, everyone was buzzing about us, our performance, and we'd be walking around campus and we have faculties like, "Yo, good game, man. I watched your guys' game on the weekend and that was crazy. Great saves, this, that," or talking to Chahin, good goals, or talking to someone else. And then we're walking around and people around campus, like the students, are like, "Hey, Suze, how's it going, man?" And I'm like, "I don't really know you, but how's it going?" And from there, we started getting new friendships and people started knowing, okay, GBC soccer is something. What is that something? And I think that something was that family culture and something that we brought, that some the seniors of that year and before them created. And that family feeling just carried on and on until we made it further and further. The family got stronger and stronger and stronger. And come national time, and it's like, oh my gosh, we're sitting in a 5-star hotel, upstate New Hampshire, New York, near the Hamptons, going to Adelphi to play against number 10 in the country or number 17 in the country in the next 2 days. And I remember us just feeling like we've made it. Like this is what college sports all about. This is what everyone dreams of, NCAA tournament. So yeah, like I said, the feeling, undescribable. The actual feeling I can't describe, but I can tell you how the environment around it was. But that feeling that we had during that time, words can't explain it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I know I know what you mean because when I was playing junior college baseball right before I came to Goldie,
Yeah.
like it wasn't quite like that. I loved
Yeah.
my team so much, and I just loved the atmosphere, the culture that was
Mm.
there. You know, the winning culture that was
Mhm.
established there. And then when I was coming to GBC, I was like really latched on to your group. That's why I
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah, we should like videotape this to share what they're doing,
Yeah.
whether or not they win. And it's funny that we started. It's just kind of like,
Yeah.
you know, the world kind of puts
Yeah.
people in certain situations. I got
Just
so lucky getting
yeah.
involved with you guys, and you know, and then
Mm.
doing that, and then the documentary kind of sharing like that story. I mean,
Mhm.
that's just like it taught me filmmaking.
Yeah.
That documentary taught me, you know, like if I'm doing interviews, like those interviews in that documentary look like crap, but it's what's in them that counts, and then it's the progression of
Mhm.
the different episodes then combined to create that one
Yeah.
thing of that season, and it's been crazy. And so like that group especially though, like I love them. I mean,
Mhm.
some of the best people I've ever met in my life, and we still have that chat where
Oh yeah.
we're still sending
Yeah.
inappropriate things.
And that
But gotta love them. But
the
yeah, like
selfies in
yeah.
compromising positions.
Yeah. But yeah, but tell me, like, have you been in connection with them, like talking to them a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I keep in contact with almost every single one of them. May not be on a every day or every week basis, but we check in with each other at least every couple of months. Maybe a phone call, voice note, message here and there, just to pop in and say, hey, how you doing, bro? How's life? What's happening? How you working? How's work? How's your family? You know, it's until today. I think our group chat is more active than some of the group chats that are of present athletes at Goldie Beacom.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to think that.
Yeah.
And I think at the moment, I'm one of the only ones that are still in the US.
Yeah.
Everyone's gone to every part of the world. I mean,
Yeah.
Australia, some of South America, like Brazil, Colombia.
Yeah.
We have guys in all over Europe. It's
Yeah.
like we still got that connection, like we haven't left each other.
Yeah. Such a
It's-
special group.
And yeah,
The best time of my life for sure was that year.
Yes,
Starting
yeah.
Lightning Studio with Lorenzo, following you guys around,
Yeah.
doing that documentary, doing the show with Alvaro and Cam and Darian, and
Yeah.
then yeah, like that's just like it's kind of that really firmly solidified Lightning Studio as like, you know, just pointing the camera at these people, letting them
Mhm.
kind of share what's good about GBC, and then we'll go from there. And we've gone from there too. I mean, I think that also what was kind of happening at the same time as all of this was our German buddies
Oh,
starting their app. You know,
Yeah.
first they started Smart Students. You were always so close with them, roommates and everything. You were always so close, and what's up, Dre? Um, and then, you know, kind of like their progression of you know, from Smart Students to Youpendo and being there through the you know, the good times and the bad. Can you tell me a little bit about like those guys, Chahin, Artur, and girl Manuela?
Of course. Man, it's like their position now and where they are today is testament to the hard work that they put in. I can remember like when I'm working on Smart Students, Chahin and Arthur especially will be working every day until 1, 2 in the morning, having phone calls with developers and speaking to new people that could help them out, going out to events, going out to meet potential like kind of investors, and it was like crazy, man. The amount of work that they put in and that nobody saw is ridiculous. And obviously because I was in the room with them, I was able to witness that work ethic. And honestly, it's something I've never seen before. You know, you always hear about these guys like Steve Jobs, Zuckerberg, and all the work that they put in, you know, to create their businesses. But it's kind of hard to visualize it. But now with the opportunity I had of seeing it firsthand, it's truly remarkable actually, and it's amazing to see, you know.
Yeah.
And like I know, not hopefully, I know that they're going to be successful.
Yeah.
Because anyone that works that hard is going to be rewarded,
Yeah.
no matter with what. May not have been with Smart Students, maybe with Youpendo, but it's going to happen,
Yeah.
Just it's like I said, it's just testament now where they are. It's testament to where they were working.
Yeah, and one of these days they'll have a documentary. One of
Hopefully.
them. No, they will. They will.
They will. Yeah,
I'm
there we
working
go.
on it. I'm working on it. Don't laugh over there, Ksenia. Yeah, no, they will. And
Yeah.
you were really involved. I kind of we kind of spent the last couple weeks, like Ksenia and I, filming them and kind of trying to figure out what the story and what the angles are. And really, it's all based on their human connection and what they
definitely.
do to connect us through smart students, and then what they did to what their idea is to connect through Youpendo. And I think they've just recently, I don't know when this podcast with me and you will be released, but today's the 23rd. I think a couple days ago, they March 23rd, they submitted it to the app to approval for iTunes. So one of these days it'll be up, and then one of these days in the next century or so, the documentary will be out. It doesn't have a title, but it's in progress. But yeah, we kind of spent the time with them and kind of took them to the airport. You were there, and it was special to kind of share that moment with them. And they've had such a huge impact. Like you struggle to really sometimes people you don't really know what you got until they're gone, and so for them now, I think that you feel it so much more than I do, but just this great people who were doing so much good things for Goldie Beacom and for all the people around them. Like you said, the work that you don't see and the value that they bring without asking for anything in return was so much. And you can see it by how much the GBC community got behind them through everything they did. And at first it started I want to do this story about Chahin and Artur, and their process of becoming who they are, from great friends back home in Germany to soccer players and somehow ending up on the same team here, winning a championship together, working together to start these apps, and then all the way up until getting it, funded and moving back to Germany. And then, as I started to talk to them, I remember I sat down with each of them and had conversations about the story and progress, and I realized how crucial and how much, just as much value and Manuela brought to the college community, and just how much of a hole in our hearts and in this community they are, and how much we would love for them to be around now. But they're off doing bigger and better things. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see where they're gonna go, and I always tell them to take more, do more videos, and I want to put together a little compilation of where they're at now, and stuff. So yeah, it's and you mentioned a lot when we did some of the documentary stuff that Chahin was has always been your roommate, very your best friend.
Well, my brother. That's the best thing.
Yeah. So what's that like? The relationship with him, and having a really close friend kind of get this opportunity of a lifetime, but then they kind of gotta go pursue it and go to another country, go back home.
I mean, it's, from my point of view, it was sad, obviously. Like I said, as we've talked about it previously, I was the one leaving first, they were the ones staying, because I left home after graduation, didn't have the intention of coming back. They were going to stay here, pursue their dream in the US, going to accelerator programs, whatever it was. And then I decided to come back, So first of all, it was all of us crying because I was leaving. And then I came back. We shared 3 months together. Everything was back to normal. But I knew, okay, October came in. Oh no. Now we all crying again because now they're leaving. And now I'm alone. While I was gone, they still had each other, and we still had each other over voice call, and But now I'm alone. How can they do this to me? That's how I kind of felt. But I was like, wait a second, how selfish is this of me? My best friends, my brothers, and my sister have the opportunity of a lifetime. How dare me even feel sad for a moment? Because I should be the happiest person in the world. Because they happy, they got the opportunity, and when they happy, I'm happy. You understand? Because that's what family is. We miss each other when we're gone, but if they're going to pursue something greater, the only thing you can do is feel happy and rejoice with them,
Mhm.
because by them pursuing something greater, you pursuing something greater, you know, you loving it with them. So um, being away from them is difficult. Yeah, you know, there's no one to come home to at the end of the day after classes, after practice, and come and argue with at home or fight over something stupid like myself and Chahin used to do every day. But there's no one to like, you know, hassle your brains. But still, we're still in contact on a consistent basis. Everything that's happening in his life, we know because we speak about it. It's like it's now this distance is just a small barrier, but we still have that connection, kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, now I'd like to kind of transition that into like you specifically have had a huge impact here as a student, as a soccer player, and then like you said, you kind of thought you were leaving, and then you come back, and now you're here coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what that's like to go from being a goalie on the soccer
Yeah.
team and graduating, and then now coming back and being a coach and being able to give back in that way.
I mean, it's great because I'm still part of the game I love, and all those years that coaches have put into me, you know, coaching me, training me, I get that opportunity now to give back, you know, try and develop somebody else, some people, some other people, some, you know, players in different aspects, and actually coaching is, I love it because you can see the fruit of your work, you know. You plant that seed by coaching the people, and you watch them blossom, you know. You watch them become better players, better people. And that for me is probably the reason coaching attracted me so much. And hopefully, like going forward, I don't want to just stop at Goldie, you know. I wanted to go beyond that. I want to coach young kids. I want to coach college kids. I want to coach guys on the verge of becoming pro. You know, I just want everyone to be able to have the same kind of opportunities that I had, you know. And if I do end up going home back to South Africa, that's my dream, because lots of people there have all the talent in the world, you know. But unfortunately, many of them don't have or didn't have or won't have the opportunity that I had to come off and be able to kind of showcase that talent that I had, because of resources, lack of, you know, back home in South Africa. And I feel as a coach, I have a power to change that, you know, to go into the grassroots level, maybe back home in South Africa especially, and offer my services, the services that I was privileged enough to get, and give that same kind of service to those that need it most, that have all the talent in the world, but just don't have somewhere to showcase it, someone to kind of hone that talent in the right direction, you know. So that's my dream going forward, you know, taking this coaching and coaching here at Goldie, or giving me the ability to coach here, like with Coach Ryan Dixon and Dan Frick have been integral parts of that, giving me that free license to like go out and here's the goalkeepers from the girls. You do what you want with them, in terms of you take the training sessions, you lead it, you set them up, and with Coach Dixon, here's the team. You today on a Tuesday, okay, you can run the session today, and that's just that kind of platform is perfect for me to step on, learn from it, learn from those people, learn from their coaching methods, and then take it further on, you know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the direction that I hope to go into.
That's an awesome experience to have, to be at that level, to be able to see how they run their programs, to be involved in it, and you have that connection here to GBC, and it's like I want to hear your thoughts on this too. It's like a lot of your doors were opened up through education, obviously. I mean, it's a college here. So can you tell me about like the importance of education? And for you, like you always, I feel like you won all of the educational awards that somebody can win here, and you always got really good grades. Can you tell me about like what you know, like the backstory behind your importance for that, and also kind of like where it's helped you?
Okay. So like growing up, I had the dream, like most young kids, you know, professional athlete. That's it. You know, that's a be all and end all. And as you get older and you realize, like, I think I was 17 and I started, like I said, before I went to the UK, I needed a fresh start. I was like, am I going to become that elite athlete that I always dreamed of? And if not, what? You know? And I always kind of had a natural inclination towards school as well. I did always decently. And then coming to college, I realized, wait, this is my fallback, you know? I'm not going in the path that I had as a young kid of being the most elite athlete, you know, earning millions and millions and millions. Even if I do become a pro athlete now, it's going to last for 10 years. And then what? Am I going to make enough money in that 10 years to last me the rest of my life? No. I mean, only the upper 0.5% of elite athletes will be able to do that, you know? And I always remembered the advice of my parents and some of my coaches as well. You need a plan B. You need something to fall back on. You know, even if you're on the path to greatness in terms of sport, one injury, one fall, one broken this or broken that, one mental breakdown, and that trajectory that you are on is gone in a completely different direction. And then what? You know, that is always the question. And then what? And then what? And with education, you always have and then what? You know, something to fall back on. You need education is is definitely the most important thing. Because with education, you learn how to deal with life's ups and downs. And if you're not going in the way that you want to go, you know that I have the mental capability to change my position and go in a different path with some basis of knowledge, you know? And like all athletes, the advice that they should be given is that education is a must, you know? Even if you can, like I said, if you want to become a pro athlete, do some kind of form of education on the side, even if it's part-time, you know? Get that degree, get that high school diploma, because you never know when you're going to need it, you know? And also, as an athlete, if you're just doing it part-time, if you want to be a great athlete, you have that competitiveness, you know? Always wanting to be the best. And that has to translate to every facet of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So that was me with education. Once I wanted to be a pro athlete, so I was competitive. You know, I'd do anything for it. I wanted to be the best at it. I was studying. I didn't want to be mediocre, because if you want to be mediocre, you're not going to get anywhere, you know? So I wanted to be the best at what I do in terms of education. And that's why I pushed myself to study harder, you know, spend a couple of more hours in the library if I needed, just so I can get the highest mark in the grade, highest grade in the mark. Highest grade in the class.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because that was important to me, to be the best at anything I do, and it's helped me, because if I didn't in high school, if I didn't do the best that I could in the class, I would never be able to come to college. If I'd never be able to come to college, I'd never be able to continue pursuing my dream of still playing football while getting a quality education on the other side, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, again, falling back to the thing, education is a must,
Yeah.
you know? Because no matter where life takes you, if you have a solid basis of knowledge, you can navigate the toughest of tasks,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the hardest of obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, again, that's my point on education.
Yeah. And if you never got educated, then you wouldn't be here making a huge impact at GBC like you have.
Exactly.
So that's awesome. I want to give a quick shout out. I'm sure your dad's listening to this. He'll listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, he's the man. You're the man. Yeah.
Trust me, he's going to love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, probably pause that part and post it on Facebook.
He's awesome, and we are so glad to have you here and at GBC, and I look forward to seeing what you're going to do in the future with coaching and you know, and thank you for that, sharing the thoughts on education, and thanks for coming out here. I know I just called you up and said, hey, You know, like
Yeah, no problem.
yeah, that's awesome.
And thank you guys so much for what you've done with Lightning Studio. You know, it's crazy. You guys have done so much for us, and yet you're the ones sitting here telling us thank you for coming.
Yeah,
But in fact, it's us who should be saying thank you to you and to everyone part of Lightning Studio, everyone part of the process that made it happen. So from all of us, I'm speaking as a collective, uh, from all the people at Goldie Beacom. Thank you
yeah.
for allowing us to have this opportunity.
Well, thank you for
Yeah.
that, brother. We
No
do it
problem.
for you all and for
Yeah.
GBC, and it's always had that two-way transaction. So thank you, brother.
No problems.
Awesome.
Anytime, man.
Awesome.
Yeah.